And don't be afraid to start small, right? So the thing about it is, if I looked at the amount I had at the time I was going to start my business, I mean, and I considered it, I wouldn't have started. I started with just about $1,000, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a pure luck.
Yeah.
And also, with a lot of wisdom and knowing how to gamble with the little that you have.
And I grew it up. And
my name is Aviv Wasserman from Winnipeg, Manitoba. CEO of the Sytex IT Services, we're based in Manitoba. Again?
What would you say has been the major focus right now?
Cybersecurity, I would say.
Cybersecurity.
Cybersecurity and protection for clients, yes, for business clients.
Hey Ali,
Yes.
rethinking the hustle.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
Welcome to Rethinking the Hustle. We are redefining what it means to succeed in business, leadership, and life by challenging the traditional hustle mindset. This channel is your go-to source for unconventional CEO interviews, leadership insight, personal development strategy, and wellness tips to help you thrive in fast-paced world. We dive deep into the intersection of business, art, health, and fashion, offering fresh perspective and actionable advice that go beyond the typical successful formula. If you are ready to break free from the grind and rethink your approach to succeed, hit the subscribe and join the movement. Right here is your go-to. Change your life forever. That's what I'm standing for. Can you please tell me your name and your background?
My name is Aviv Wasserman from Winnipeg, Manitoba. CEO of the Sytex IT Services. We're based in Manitoba, so my experience 30 plus years. So, in IT industry.
Beautiful. And what is it like to actually being the CEO? What does it take to be at that level and actually dominate your industry?
You have to be always creative. You have to understand the business, what you're doing. You have to understand the fields, what you're in, and providing the right IT support and services for clients, for business clients.
That's right. And then tell me, is being a creative CEO, is it something that you have to learn from school, or do you need someone to groom you, or is it like an inborn actually gift?
You have to learn.
You have to learn.
It's not simple. Like you have to learn, you have to know.
That's right. And what does it require? What are the steps of being?
It's a lot of steps. Like you have to be human, you have to be personal, you have to learn, you have to be good Samaritan, I would say.
Okay.
You have to just be the right person.
That's right. That's right. And how's your business doing as an IT?
I think it's okay. I think so. It's okay. I would like to do the better, but
that's right.
It's not always depends on me.
Absolutely. And your company is based here in Toronto?
No, my big company based in Winnipeg, Toronto.
Winnipeg.
Manitoba.
Oh, Winnipeg.
Winnipeg, Manitoba. Yeah.
Oh, Manitoba. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I actually was there when I was about 2 years ago.
Okay.
But it was just driving past.
Okay.
And how is the business? What's your revenue like?
Oh, this is secret. I cannot tell you.
I know it's big, right? It's big. And then if anybody, like if you have to groom anyone, that's gonna, to be in the industry, what does it require? What if you have to, like anyone that's gonna follow your footsteps?
You have to know the knowledge, you have to understand your competitors, you have to know the industry, you have to learn all the time, studying the new information technologies, or everything, single new release, what's happening from Microsoft, anybody, and other vendors and providers.
That's right.
And you have to be advancing what you're doing on a daily basis.
Yeah. And also with the AI now, how are you guys implementing that in in the industry? How is it? Okay, how
we're testing.
Yeah,
we're testing. We tested like a couple of times. Like you test ChatGPT. You use the what kind of autopilot? He used
autopilot. Yeah,
he's my employees as well. He's the engineer.
Yeah, and what would you say has there been like major focus so far in in your industry?
Sorry again.
What would you say has been the major focus right now?
Cybersecurity, I would say. Cybersecurity and protection for clients, yes, for business clients.
Could you tell me also your management philosophy?
Oh, It's tough. I cannot explain in one word. Like,
Yeah.
we need more time because I'm assuming we just came.
We just arrived. Okay, fantastic.
I apologize.
Well, it's really nice talking to you. This is don't apologize because it's great already. I actually love it. Thank you so
It's
far.
my first time. It's
Listen,
like
thank you so far. I appreciate it. It means a lot to me, right? Thank
Nice
you.
to- sir,
It's nice meeting you.
nice-
It's
nice
really
meeting
nice meeting you. I know we will be in touch again soon, right?
you want me to give you a business card?
Oh, please do. Please, I need your business card, and because we're definitely gonna be in touch, because this is just a part one. I'll be after you now.
No problem.
Take care, man.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, look, you know what? I'm sorry that I intrude you. Randomly just walked in and seen a bit handsome man actually sitting there, busy with all his gadgets, I could just tell this is something very, very unique about you. And then, I gonna have to introduce, and I know they don't have much time, but could you just tell us your name and your background?
Okay, my name is Ogoluwa Olushakin. I am an entrepreneur. I came to Canada, I migrated to Canada with my family in 2015, December. I started my business March 2016.
Fantastic.
Right, and basically I do online retail, and I've been doing it since then. I have a couple of companies, two actually, that I currently run solely with my wife, and I have a few others I have as joint ventures with other people. Right, so yeah.
Okay, and what are the challenges that comes from migrating from Nigeria, to Canada, and being able to actually, get the startup that you to the level that you are now?
So I think the major challenge is access to funding.
Yeah.
Right. So even though there are so many programs and all that for entrepreneurs and all that, the requirements are always not as easy as it seems.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So for most of them, they require some form of history of doing business. But how do you get history of doing business when you don't even have funds to start the business?
Absolutely,
right.
yeah.
So I think one of the major obstacles for businesses, especially for migrants, is the grants, right? So I think that was my major challenge. Apart from grants and all that, it's also understanding the system, the business systems in Canada is a bit different, right? A lot of policies that you need to know, and ignorance is not an excuse in Canada. So the burden is on you to learn and understand the policies that guide whatever industry you are in. So I think those are the two major challenges for an entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, tell me more about your industry.
Okay.
What is it like? What does it require to be dominating the industry?
Okay, so the way my industry runs, I do online retail, so means I bring in products, import products, and I sell them online.
Okay.
So I skip the middleman. I actually bring them, package them, sell them.
Absolutely.
Right
Yeah.
now, major things that stand out for me in that industry. Major things is sourcing. Where do we source from, right?
Yeah.
Because of course, the better your source, the more your profit.
Absolutely.
The better your source, the more acceptable your products will be, right? Because we are in a time when people are very careful about where their products come from. For instance, some people want to buy maybe beauty products. I do beauty products and natural products, right? So people really care about the source. So I think a major thing for the industry that I am is getting the right source, number one. Number two, selling it at the right price.
That's right.
Number two. Then number three, making sure that you have it accessible, you market it enough for people to be able to get access to it and even know what you are doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That sounds. In your position with the business, the kind of business is running, you're always on the road. How do you manage to kind of deliver?
So I think the benefit of what I do is the fact that my business can run with me on the road. The world has pivoted and things have evolved, right?
That's right.
So for those that sell products that are in my industry, there are actually companies that can handle fulfillment of your products. Meaning, when you sell a product online, there are companies that pack it for you and ship it to your customers.
Yes.
So you don't have to sit down, right, and be doing the packing and all those kind of stuff. So basically, the job we do majorly is to source, get the right products, import them, send them to those distribution centers, and that's it. When you get your sales, they are shipped for you.
Nice.
So that gives me the ability to be able to afford me the opportunity to go around, travel around, and do the things I want to do without being there.
Beautiful. And what is it like, running this successful business with the family?
So I think again, the fact that I own my business affords me the opportunity to be a present father to my children and present husband to my wife because I control my time, right? So of course there are times where, because of the activities of the day, maybe go to kids' school for meetings and all that, I have to work till late in the night, right? But that's okay, right? And I think that's one of the things that stood out for me and encouraged me to go into this line of business, right? Because of the time he affords me with my family. I don't need to take any permission from anyone to go to my son's school council meeting. I don't need to take permission from anyone to pick my son from school, right? So I think it's beautiful.
Absolutely, And how do you deal with your mental health?
Yeah, well, so I'm a child of God. I'm a believer, right? And
actually says 36 hours.
There's a scripture I like so much, where Jesus says that we should be anxious for nothing, but in every situation with prayer and supplication, we should make our requests known to God. So that's basically what I've learned to do. I've learned to hand things over to God.
That's right.
Right? There are things I can't control. I do my best to control them, but there are things that only God can control.
That's right.
Right? I hand them over to Him.
Absolutely.
Right? So
that's right. How do you plan your daily, routine to actually, stay put? Because it seems to be very, very organized, and how you able to kind of manage.
So basically, I use reminders, right? I use reminders a lot, right? So I have this app on my phone that I use to set my reminders for the day, right? And sometimes when I have multiple things to do, right, I kind of make notes, right? If I'm going to work from home, I make notes like that. I used to plan my day.
That's right.
Right? And one thing that has helped me in managing my time and all that is I have a system called passing the bulk. So what that means is I make sure nothing is on my table. I try to do everything I need to do myself and pass it over to the next person. Right? So if I'm trying to get an approval from government or something, I make sure I fill the forms and send it to them. So making sure that nothing is, I don't have anything outstanding. I try to make sure I end my day with nothing outstanding. So I think that has helped me in planning my day. Yeah.
And who inspired you to actually get into this industry?
So I worked in a tech company in Nigeria, right? Surprisingly, he doesn't even know it. The CEO of the company, I was an HR in the company, and I used to do interviews with the CEO for new candidates. And then after the interviews, the CEO will maybe chat me for a few minutes, and I realized it was the founder of the company. I realized that the guy was a normal guy. He didn't have two heads, right? He was just a regular guy, and he was doing so well. It's one of the biggest tech companies in Nigeria, right? And then I was like, if this guy can do all this, right, then I should be able to do something.
That's right.
I think that was what made me, when I came to Canada, that was what inspired me to go into business.
Interesting.
I'm like, if these guys can do it, then I can do it.
Absolutely,
right?
Nigeria seems to be also doing extremely well when it comes to tech. The tech business. How did they get into that level and surpass the rest of African country?
I think Nigerians are very creative and talented.
Absolutely,
right? And I think there was just an era where a lot of people became uncomfortable with the norm.
That's right.
And decided to start making a difference. And then when Nigerians get easily inspired, right? And I think so when people saw others doing something, I think it kind of spread amongst a lot of people. I saw a lot of young people. I mean, I'm sure you've seen them starting up tech companies and all that. The amount of tech companies in Nigeria now is unbelievable.
That's right.
And they are actually solving problems.
They are. Okay. Now one question that we always wanted to ask is whether you move to Canada or you decided to remain in Nigeria, you're still gonna go and do really well. You're still gonna be doing well for yourself. Why did you choose to be in Canada?
So Canada is a good country. So I think it's basically for my family, for my kids, right? I just felt it was time to give them more exposure.
That's right.
Right. So I'm a citizen of Canada now.
Right.
I just visited Argentina. I didn't need a visa.
Oh, makes sense.
Right. So I can travel around the world without a visa. I think that was also a big deal for me. The fact that I can go around the world and do business, do other things without requiring a visa. It's so easy, comfortable, cost saving, time saving. Right.
Okay.
So I think that was a big deal.
Interesting. So what was it like the beginning, the first year of running your own business in Canada? What was the main challenge that you say you will face, and how would you kind of prep somebody who want to follow your footsteps?
So I think my main challenge when I started was trusting. Like the first product I was going to import to Canada.
Yeah.
I was scared. Like I was like, is this thing going to be? Is it a scam, or am I going to actually receive it? Like, am I going to receive the product? Because I shipped it, I had not met the manufacturers, I didn't travel to meet them. I just ordered it online and shipped it out to Canada. So I was a bit scared about that, right? But basically it came in and everything was good. But there are now platforms, there are now ways that you can pay for programs online. I mean, programs that you want to ship from abroad, and your payments can be guaranteed, right? So I think that worry is over now. Anyone going into business now can actually use one of those platforms. You pay your supplier, they don't release the money to your supplier until it delivers the goods to you. Right. So those platforms exist. That's one. Number two, funding. Major issue. Like when I started, I got a few good products, but the challenge was I had to sell them first before I could import. Which was why I approached the banks initially, and they wanted to see 2 years record, and I just started for 5 months. Right. So that was a major challenge for me. Right. So for someone, I would say make sure when you're starting your business, you have some form of, if you can, even if you don't have any form of capital, make sure you have people around you that can buy into your vision, right? Because you may not be able to get with the banks. I can't guarantee that. And then don't be afraid to start small.
Are we
Terminal 1? Oh, 3. Yeah, we're going Terminal 1. Yeah. And don't be afraid to start small, right? So the thing about it is, if I looked at the amount I had at the time I was going to start my business, I mean, and I considered it, I wouldn't have started. I started with just about $1,000, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a pure luck.
Yeah.
And also, with a lot of wisdom and knowing how to gamble with the little that you have.
And I grew it up. And at some point, I found out that, so the 80-20 rule, I found out a couple of 20% of my products were doing very well, right? 80% were decent, but 20 were doing amazingly well. When I found out they were so good, and I approached the banks and there was nothing forthcoming, I took advantage of my credit products, my credit cards and all that, and I started using them, and it was amazing because, of course, as I used them, imported, sold, paid them back, they kept increasing my limit. And at some point, I found out I didn't need it again.
Wow.
Right, because my business had grown over that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then I had enough capital. I started investing and growing my business.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So don't be afraid. If you find something that works, something that is proven, right, don't be afraid to leverage on credit, right, personal credit to do it.
Yeah, that's right. So now, where you are right now, if you have to redo it again, what would you change?
If I could redo it again, I would have started from, I wouldn't have worked for anyone. I would have started business earlier. What I know now, and I think the major challenge was boldness. If I knowing what I know now, I would have started my business at the age of 21.
Oh, wow.
Like I would have started maybe 10 years earlier.
That's right.
Right, because the same system I operate here would thrive very well in any country. Right, so if knowing what I know now, I would have started earlier.
That's right. Okay. And you also just, coming back from Argentina, right? How was it like? What was the trip for?
It was a mission trip, right? So one of the benefits of business again is that you can go on all these kind of trips, right? Okay.
Are we getting off here? Okay, go ahead. Oh, yeah, we keep moving. Yeah, that's the life of entrepreneur, CEO.
Yeah.
And tell me now, how did you end up choosing London, Ontario as a base?
Okay, so
when you can be in Toronto.
Yeah. Okay, so like I said, I do online retail. So at a point when I was going to. So we wanted to buy a property in GTA, right? And at the price point we were at the time, what we wanted to buy, the properties around that price point were nothing to write home about. They were old, they were not good. I just was not comfortable with them, right? And then, I just felt inspired. I was inspired to go check out London. I checked out London, brand new houses, amazing, really, really nice at the time, right? And I'm like, why should I be? I'm a businessman. I can run my business from anywhere. The only place I need access to is, at the point, I used to do a lot of air freight. I used to fly my goods from different countries to the airport, right? I wasn't doing sea freight at the time. I was not doing a lot of sea freight at that time. So all I needed access to was the airport. The airport from London is 1 hour 45 minutes, right? From I was at Oshawa at the time. From Oshawa to the airport, and then was within 45 minutes to 1 hour. So I'm like, just 45 minutes difference, right? I said, you know what, move. So we moved down to London when we were going to get our first house, right? And yeah, that's what it's been. So, but over time, I've also evolved the business into shipping the product. I get my product via sea freight now, and you know, it's easier for me, right? Because sometimes they don't get delivered to my house. Sometimes when I bring in containers, they deliver to my storage. I have a couple of storages in London. So they just deliver to my storage and I ship out from there. Beautiful. And the good thing is that from the distribution centers, I can ship through UPS or anyone to them. UPS is everywhere, right? So,
absolutely,
So for my model, London is nice, right? Yeah.
And then also, and how do you market your business?
So I market it online majorly, right? So I sell on Amazon, I sell on Walmart, Canada, I sell on Shopify, right? For Walmart and Amazon, you market through the platforms directly, right? And they're already known names, right? So if you go on Amazon, you want to buy toothpaste. There was a time I used to say I had a brand of my own toothpaste, charcoal toothpaste, right?
Oh,
so
fantastic.
when you want to buy toothpaste, you know what you type in, toothpaste, right?
Yes.
And when you type in toothpaste, it brings out different types of toothpaste.
That's right.
At that time, this was a couple of years back, charcoal toothpaste was like a big deal, right? A lot of people wanted to use charcoal toothpaste.
Honestly, I still buy them.
Oh, you still buy them, right?
Yes.
Yeah. A lot of people wanted to use it. So I had my brand. In fact, at the time, I was one of the biggest sellers in Canada at some point, right? But when a lot of people came into the market, you know, I pivoted to other things.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
well, again, that's what you guys are known for, you know.
Yeah. So basically, marketing is just basically we market based on the keywords and all that. So when you go on Amazon, you type in charcoal toothpaste. What I do is I pay for the ad, so you see my product first, majorly. So that was major marketing I did.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And then, what would you say? What's your revenue like?
So I mean, it varies for the kind of business I do.
What's the highest that you made?
There was a year I did 750 in the year.
That's right. Yes.
But we should be doing that.
Yes.
My goal is to do over 1 million, which is easily achievable.
I see it happening.
Yeah. But however, you know, for the kind of business I do, I also do real estate investment.
Okay.
Right. So because I do real estate investment, I buy houses. Right. So I use a lot of my capital to buy houses. Right. If I invested this capital in my business, I would have done far greater. Right. But the houses, of course, appreciate in value too. So I mean, if you factor that in, it's really good.
Absolutely.
But for the business itself, average of 500. When I started. A few years after I started, I was doing 500K, then I moved to 750, almost on the way to 1 million.
That's right, that's right. Are you also looking in, investing back home in Nigeria? Because I believe, especially the real estate as well, it's like a booming business there.
So my family actually does real estate investment. Sorry, let me just check.
Sure, go ahead. This interview was actually, created randomly. It was unexpected, and then we actually end up, have to cut it short because of time.
Yeah.
So shall we say that it's like to be continued?
Yes, to be continued.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, look, you know what? It's absolutely amazing meeting you, and I hope we can get to meet up again soon for the second round.
All right.
Yes. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, and stay blessed and go well.